All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Sherwin. I work at OpenAI, leading the team that works on the OpenAI API, which hopefully some of you have used. Today I wanted to give a brief talk on what I view as a retrospective on an early retrospective on the year of agents. This is going to be a pretty fast talk, so I know we're running behind on time, so I know the organizers will appreciate that. I've been working on the API for quite a while, pre-ChatGPT era, back when the main use cases of these LLMs were just copywriting startups and role play like AI Dungeon type companies, and it's been crazy to see the progress of these things. And now that we're in 2025, it's been really awesome to see the paradigm of agents and reasoning kind of come into fruition. So much so that there are conferences now completely around AI agents, and we were told. In early 2025, I think Sam was the person who would say this a lot, but we were told that this would be the year of agents. And I think part of this was I think a lot of the labs, a lot of the companies started seeing the impact of the new reasoning paradigm on how long these LLMs could reason in a consistent and more reliable manner, still not completely reliable. And extrapolating that into something that could resemble agentic behavior. And so because of this, at OpenAI, we've tried to launch a lot of different products kind of in this vein. So in January, which feels like forever ago, we launched the operator model with a computer using agent. In February, we launched deep research. Crazy to think it was only 5 months ago. In March, we launched Responses API, which allows developers to build more agentic-like behaviors. April had the launch of O3, which is this, it had access to a lot more tools. It could do research. It could run code for you. In May, we launched Codex, which was a coding agent. And then last month, we launched ChatGPT Agent, which merged a lot of these together. And then, who knows what will happen in August. Still have 31 more days, or I think 29 more days. But if you kind of look back on all of this, these are really cool demos. A lot of people actually use these in their day-to-day. But now that we're halfway through 2025, personally, I still don't think agents have really lived up to their promise. And I think it still hasn't really hit the mainstream. Certain use cases, certain more generic use cases tend to have agents that work, like maybe for deep research. We're now starting to tailor them towards domains like coding. But it feels like they really haven't hit the mainstream yet. My day-to-day work doesn't really feel that different with agents. And so it brings back, it makes me think about this really great book called Where is My Flying Car, which in the 50s, 60s, we had all this optimism around flying cars, and they still don't exist. I think I saw a startup try to do this, so maybe soon. But the equivalent here is, where is my agent 6 months in? And so one way of thinking about this is, what are not the reasons for why agents aren't here? So I'll first cover this, and then I wanted to cover some reasons why I do think agents are still not really prevalent yet. I think there are two things that it's not. So one of them is definitely not a lack of demand. I've heard people think like, oh, who wants agents? But what we've seen over the last year is the moment an AI agent starts working, the usage just absolutely explodes. So I think deep research was a good example of this. I think we're seeing this right now with the coding agents, with Cursor, Claude Code as well. But the moment, we're all kind of, we all care about our own time. And so the moment an agent can kind of save us time, everyone starts using it. And so the demand really is there. Second thing is and this might be a hot take, is I don't think it's due to a lack of model intelligence anymore. These models can start getting really, really smart. I actually think O3 is at a level that even exceeds myself a lot of the times. And a fine-tuned version of O3 deep research is straight up better than me at researching complex tasks. Like, I'm not that diligent. I will not synthesize things as well as deep research. And so I actually think it no longer is limited due to a lack of model intelligence. And so something we talk about internally is the capability overhang is very real right now, which is why it's a very exciting time. These models can actually do a lot of these things, but for a variety of other non-intelligence reasons, the agents still aren't really there yet. And so, so my main take here is that I actually think the primary reasons why agents aren't everywhere yet is actually deployment related and not not intelligence related with these models. And I think there are four main things that are still blocking agents here today, which actually to me I think is really exciting and is an opportunity. The first one is connectors. So we still haven't built out the ecosystem of tools and connections for AI agents to actually get info from the world around it to be useful. I think we're starting to do this. You're starting to see a lot, but we're still not fully there. Second thing is a lack of generalizability. I actually think the previous talk kind of touched on this too, where these models still, you can train these models to get really good at very specific tools, but once you generalize beyond that set, they start having issues. Third one is it's still really hard to create agents. I talk to customers of our API about this all the time, and because it's so difficult, because there's so much activation energy, I think there's a lot of workflows in the world that still haven't really been touched by AI, and if we can make this easier, it'll drastically improve that. And the last one, which I think the previous session talked about, is cost. So these things are still not, Sam Lowe's talking about intelligence too cheap to meter. These are still meterable, and if anyone's run a large Claude Code job or a Cursor job, you know that this it hits your wallet quite a bit, and so the cost is still a prohibitive factor. And so for the first one, connectors. So yeah, the main point here is that the scaffolding that these models need to build to access the right data is still not built enough yet. Is still not built out enough yet. We're still in the early stages here. And the analogy that I have is the agents or the models right now kind of look like this person sitting at a desk with a computer with nothing else in their office. You're kind of sitting there, you want to be helpful, but you don't have any access to any data. Maybe you could draw a fun picture for yourself, but there's not much interesting things that you can do. This kind of feels like the world that we're in. And the person themselves, presumably is very smart and can do things, but they don't actually have the infrastructure that they need to do it. We're starting to see standards evolve here, which is great, but they're still not fully mature yet. You kind of have seen these evolutions of, vector stores were really hot a couple years ago. Then I think people started thinking about more simple search. This is how deep research came about. Now MCP is a really great new foundational paradigm, but it feels like we're still early, and there's still more to be built out here. Just to put it into perspective, MCP literally did not exist, I think, 8 months ago. And it is only now started really taking the industry by storm. If you just look at the star history of the different servers on the GitHub of MCP. And that's not even to say, MCP tends to target a lot of external use cases. Internal use cases, businesses, what we do in our organizations is even more daunting. Estimated the amount of data that is stored in internal organizations for access is estimated to be 4x larger than even public data by end of year. And so if we're having trouble, connecting to public things at MCP, imagine how hard it'll be to start transforming the structure of the tools for your internal organization. The next thing, lack of generalizability. So agent tool use is still not very generalizable, unfortunately, and it results in agents that are trained on very specific tools. So the Kua agent was trained on like a click and like a browser tool. Our deep research is just trained on a thin search type of a tool. And so you end up getting these things that are trained with very general purpose tools like search, so that you can get maximum broad utility. But once you go beyond that, it gets very difficult. If you've ever tried deep research, it's in our API. It's also a product, but if you use it in our API, you can actually give it random sets of tools, see how it does. Deep research is really great at using search. We fine-tune the hell out of it to get really good at search. If you give it other types of connectors on our ChatGPT product, it's okay. It's pretty good at it. It's actually really cool to give it GitHub and have it search through that. But if you start giving it custom tools of your own, connect to your Databricks cluster, connect to your Snowflake cluster, it starts having a lot of generalizability issues. There's a paper that our friends at Apple put together which kind of illustrates this in a more quantitative way. I'm not going to go through all of it, but basically, as you start perturbing the tools, giving it custom tools that it might not know about, the performance on eval start going down pretty precipitously. And so one big question then is, how do we create tools that help the model work better? A lot of the times, I think we've been thinking about how do we create things that make humans more valuable, but I think very soon we're going to be in a world where we're going to have to create tools specifically tailored for the model. And so this idea of like simple tools, simple standards, and a very smart model, I think the previous panel talked about a very small on-device model, just like reaching out to a lot of different tools. That really does seem like the way in which the world's going to go. The third one, difficulty of creating agents. So I'm going to put my own company on blast here. This is a PDF on a practical guide to building agents. It's 32 pages long. There's like all these diagrams of like the different architectures you want to do. It's still really hard to build agents right now. And I think for us to really unlock the long tail of things that agents can do, we're really, the long tail of economically valuable tasks, we're really going to need to make the agent creation process a lot easier. I think a lot of companies are thinking about this. Last one is cost. So running agents is still not cheap, especially as you're doing these long inference jobs with chain of thought constantly. Turns out that ensembling agents together tends to improve performance, so everyone's just throwing a lot more compute at these things, but the cost of running these agents is still quite high. So an example of this, so we run our API, O3 is usually around 40 tokens a second. At our current price, assuming only output tokens, by the way, I'm assuming input tokens are all cash and basically free. If you're running it constantly, trying to do some agentic task, this translates to around $27 a month. Which is not that bad, but it's also, as you run a bunch more of these, it starts adding up. But the good news is, obviously, these prices are going down very quickly. I think this is the combination of 4 different factors. One is, model distillation improvements on the research side. 2, inference tricks and improvements, around KV cache optimizations and things like that. Third one is hardware optimizations that a lot of the chip makers are doing. And the fourth one, which I actually think may be driving the most recent precipitous decrease in cost, is how willing these large providers are to lose money on these models in a price battle. But 900x a year price drop is pretty crazy. And so, what will happen when this $27 a month thing goes to $2.70 or 27 cents per month? I actually think we'll be in this world very, very soon. And so, to cap things off, where can we go from here if we solve these? These 4 areas would then be kind of fixed. Imagine a world where agents are able to connect to everything in the world that a human can and do valuable work. Imagine agents that can generalize well. You can drop them into any new environment and learn, and it can learn how to be effective in it, just like you dropped into some workplace learning all the different tools. People in every corner of every organization can create and customize agents, and the best part, you can run fleets of agents without any consideration of cost. Cool. So the end state of this: a personal AI assistant for every human, a context-aware AI at the center of every business, and millions, billions of mini agents running around to fill the gaps. So it's an exciting time, and yeah, thank you.